The girl had only opened the door to pick up a food delivery when the delivery man suddenly forced his way in and brutally raped her. At that moment, she was on the phone with her mother. On the other end, Karen heard her daughter's terrified screams. Realizing something was terribly wrong, she jumped out of her car and begged nearby strangers to call 911. Panicked, she rushed home as fast as she could, but she was too late. Her daughter, after enduring the assault, was murdered in cold blood by the attacker. When the police arrived, even the officers were horrified by the brutality of the scene. Determined to catch the killer quickly, the police chief asked the grieving parents to come to the station and recall any details that might help. But Karen, overwhelmed by grief and shock, was in no state to speak clearly. So the two were sent home and told to wait for updates from the investigators. The chief also recommended they attend a support group for parents who had lost children to violent crimes. But when Karen arrived at the session, she became even more distressed. Listening to other grieving parents speak, she realized that many of their children's killers had never been brought to justice. The next morning, the couple was awoken by a phone call. It was the police chief, sounding excited. They had arrested a suspect. His name was Jack, and he was being held in the station's interrogation room. That evening, the case was covered on the news. Karen and her husband watched in silence as the suspect's face was shown on TV. Karen replayed the video over and over, burning his image into her memory. The next day, under the police chief's arrangement, they met with the prosecutor in charge of the case. He assured them that they had solid evidence and was confident that justice would be served. When Karen finally saw the man who had taken her daughter's life, rage surged through her. But instead, she chose to believe in the system, to trust the law. Unfortunately, the legal process didn't go as expected. The critical DNA evidence that tied Jack to the crime was thrown out by the defense attorney, who argued that the semen sample had been collected illegally.